Hi, this is Mesh Rundown. If you enjoy movie reviews, short, and trailer reactions, you're in the right place. So want to subscribe and hit the like button down below.
Today we're going to be reviewing The Batman. The Batman is a 2022 superhero film directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, Batman, Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle, Catwoman, and Paul Dano as Edward Nashton, the Riddler.
Batman delves into Gotham City's underworld when a sadistic killer leaves behind a trail of riddles. As he untangles the web of lies surrounding the most powerful people in Gotham, he's surprised to find that the clue hits closer to home than he could have ever imagined.
So let's look at the good, and the movie is very fast-paced. I mean, there is the pondering thinking because it's Detective Batman, but a lot happens throughout the movie, and it happens pretty quickly. And it's very gritty, it's dark, it's menacing, everything feels like Gotham. And saying that Gotham is alive, it's unique, it feels like its own living creature almost. Like, it doesn't look like the Gothams from the other movies. This is a proper hellhole.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like they're just shooting off in the streets. It feels like they're shooting in Gotham.
Yes.
And I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, that it felt more like the old cartoon Batmans that we used to watch as kids.
Yeah.
Because it was a more darker, gothic, detective kind of work, which I loved.
The Batman.
By far my favorite reiteration
Yeah.
because of that.
Surprisingly,
it just
yes.
really hit home. And I think another thing that made me really enjoy it was how hard-hitting it was. Batman is aggressive. When he's punching hard. It felt violent. Especially that first one in the train.
Yeah, in the train station.
It's like the first few smacks, I was like, whoa.
He's not holding much back. He's going... It feels like this just go out and close to murder these people because he's not holding anything back.
Just on the line, yeah. He's very aggro and angry at what's going on.
I think almost everybody had their reservations about Robert Pattinson as the Batman. I don't know if it feels right, but he works as the Batman. He's got the good jawline. He's got the good frame for it. It worked throughout. We didn't get much of Bruce Wayne, so as the Batman, I'm very, very pleasantly surprised at how good Robert Pattinson is as Batman. Yeah.
I'm happy the way he was as Batman, and I'm happy the way he was as Bruce Wayne, even though we didn't get to see a lot of Bruce Wayne. Because I feel like for this era of where he is in his career, or his development or becoming of Batman, he would be very solemn and recluse and staying at home and hidden and, you know, all those...
It's year two, it's early days.
Yeah, all those things, because he hasn't really worked through a lot of what's happened. And you can see from this movie that he doesn't even understand a lot of what happened to his parents.
Yeah.
So as he gets to that realization, he matures, and you can see that maturity throughout the movie. And it felt like Robert Pattinson managed to portray that growth throughout the movie as well in a very effective way, whether he was Batman or Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I suppose.
I felt those changes, especially at the end.
And speaking of the end is great. I like the change from vengeance to hope, and it's great. I thoroughly enjoyed the end.
I was very surprised, and it was nice to see because at some point it looks like Batman himself is surprised.
Yes.
That now he's gone from, you know, vengeance to looking at someone's face and realizing that he's become the hope of the city.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going to see the maturity and the Bruce Wayne that people are generally more familiar with.
And also speaking of ends, I thought it ended when they got the Riddler, and then the movie like kept going. It was like, oh, so we're getting bonus footage basically because it just kept going.
Saying that it kept going, it didn't feel like it was too long, even though it went longer than I expected, because I also thought it was going to end around there. But when it kept going, it was actually interesting.
Yes.
And I felt like it was important to the story for it to keep going.
It was.
So I was very happy. The movie was quite long, but it didn't feel long when we were sitting in the cinema.
And a lot of these superhero movies nowadays, it's like every time there's something serious, we must underpin it with something comedic and let's laugh a bit and constant breaking the tension with funniness. There's nothing funny in this Batman. There's nothing light-hearted. It just was serious and gritty and Gotham.
the Batman that I love.
I mean, it works. We don't need to laugh every 5 minutes throughout a movie. There might be one or two moments of levity in the movie, but majority of it was very like serious.
And I think that the music helped a lot with that because it provided such a good ambience. And it stayed serious, but it was like this, I don't want to say it was whimsical, but it fitted.
It fitted so well. It was intimidating as well. When you get that Batman theme and you just hear his footsteps before you see him, it's like, okay, we've built up this character so much before you even see him, and he's so scary before you even see him. He's Batman, he's scary. That's great.
So the score and music really played well off of each other.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that quite a bit. It even helped, thinking about the score, also when they introduced his car.
Yeah.
Because the car got like one of the best introductions in the movie. That was the best introduction of Batman's car I've ever seen.
It was a terrifying car. Like, it was aggressive and mean, and I was scared for the Penguin there.
Yes, and it felt like vengeance.
Yes.
I'm talking about the Penguin. I obviously love the Penguin. The actor who did it is amazing.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell.
I can't believe it's Colin Farrell, but he was great. I've always liked the Penguin as a character, so I'm surprised that more people seem to have liked him in this movie, because usually he's not the most loved character.
No, it's normally a bit of a joke. Although in the Gotham TV series, he's also my favorite character by far.
I haven't watched this TV series. And I think that, talking about the characters, the Riddler was done in such an amazing way. I know it's very different to the comics and the previous movies, but for this reiteration, I loved it. It was perfect. Even Alfred.
Alfred was good. I mean, I like Andy Serkis, so Alfred was cool. The costumes themselves were great. Batman looked amazing.
And his costume was more functional, which I enjoyed, because his batarang, what's it called?
The chest piece was enough.
Well, it was his...
Was it a batarang?
It looked like the shape of his batarang.
I don't think he threw a batarang in this movie.
I don't think he threw the batarang, but it was in the shape of his batarangs, and he used it as a knife. But I mean, it was functional. There was a reason why he has that there.
It was incredibly bulletproof, his suit, as well.
Yeah, and I think with the advances in bulletproofing and stuff, you know, and he's supposed to be even more advanced, that I was okay with that.
Yeah. Even Catwoman with the little ears looked like a British short hair. I couldn't help the little British short hair.
And I loved, like you say, the little ears, because it looked like it was almost an accident that it looked like cat ears because of the way the seams had gone. It was subtle, but still more than enough. Yeah. And she did an amazing job. Her storyline and everything, I enjoyed it quite a lot.
So,
I know it's a big departure.
Yes.
But I still enjoyed it. The bad, some people said it might have been too long, but like I said, I didn't feel that.
Yeah, I was okay with the length. It wasn't too bad.
It went so fast. I only felt it like right at the end when I thought the movie was done, and then it continued. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's 3 hours long. It is a long movie, so you might find it difficult. I think some people might find it difficult, but I didn't mind.
Yeah, it was 3 hours long, but it didn't feel like it was 3 hours long.
Yes.
Because sometimes you can go watch a movie and it feels like forever, and I'm literally like, how much more is left? This one is like, oh, there's more. Awesome.
Yay. And we're going on about it because that's literally the only bad we have about the movie is some people might find it too long.
Yeah, it was superb.
Yeah. Overall, there's a few movies that kind of transcend the superhero genre, become something a bit better, a bit more. The Dark Knight did it. I think Logan did it. It kind of feels like calling this a superhero movie isn't right. It was more than a superhero movie. This is one of the best movies I've seen. Like, on par with, like, Seven and stuff like that. So, not a superhero movie, not a good superhero movie, a really, really good movie.
Yeah. Because superhero movies are usually, like, a bit silly and just action kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas this was not silly, not action-filled. It was like the Dark Gotham, but it was just really good.
Even the filming, everything about it was just more.
Yeah, it was excellent. Best movie I've watched in quite a while.
Best movie of 2022. Yeah, best movie of 2022. Spider-Man was 2021.
So that leaves us with the ratings, and I gave it a 9.
I'm going to give it a 10. I don't know what I would improve. I don't think there's anything that they could have done better.
I think just, like I said, too Halle Berry vibe with the Catwoman for me. And there were like one or two things that could have been done better, but not much. Like so close to a 10. It was superb. I don't like Halle Berry, I'm sorry. So now when I look at Catwoman, I just think of Halle Berry and I'm like, ah. And I'm quite surprised that it's a good rating because when we watched the trailer, and that was just before we started doing the channel, I was so disappointed with the trailer.
There was something wrong with seeing Pattinson as Batman, and that threw me off so much when I first saw the trailer, and I don't know, not enjoying seeing it and thinking about it, and I'm so happy.
He did an excellent job. By far my favorite Batman. By far my favorite Batman movie.
And I think this might be my favorite Batman, but I don't get enough of him as Bruce Wayne, so I'm still going to say Christian Bale nailed Batman and Bruce Wayne. So as a whole character, I still prefer Christian Bale. If Pattinson gets more movies and he starts to get into that Bruce Wayne persona and that grows, I can see this overtaking Christian Bale's version, but for me, I still prefer the dichotomy Christian Bale could do, because he could do Batman, he could do Bruce Wayne, and he could do who he really was as well in between the two.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great, but still Christian Bale for me.
I just think that for the period in where he would be in his development, according to the time frame of this movie, I'm not talking about the time frame in Christian Bale's movie because I knew that he had only been Batman for X amount of long. I don't care. For the time frame, the 2 years, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Psychologically and developmentally, it was perfect.
So let us know in the comments down below, who's your favorite Batman?
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.
Later.